Okay. I would start off by saying that I'm not doing this for any purposes other than telling my story, and that so people know, and maybe other people will stand up and say that this happened to me, and maybe we'll actually be able to get some actual change done as far as police brutality and the things that happen to people that shouldn't happen to people. This is for the Madison County Sheriff, who was patrolling Chateau Island in Granite City in the fall winter of 2003. Yeah, Chateau Island, we were there, we were trespassing. So yes, that's a reason to stop us. That's a reason to write us a ticket, or, I mean, I don't know, maybe even take me to jail. What it isn't is the reason for you to assault me the way you did. We were out there, it was me and two gentlemen, two friends of mine that were guys. I was in a blue and purple Camaro. My blue and purple Camaro said the name Sheila on the license plate, because that is my name. Trying to do this without crying, because it still upsets me to this day that this shit's still going on. It's only getting worse. Yes, we were on Chateau Island and we were trespassing. We were actually drinking as well. Well, I wasn't drinking, but my passengers were drinking. We had just gotten out there, so I hadn't had time to start drinking. Thank gosh, because I didn't catch a DUI that night. But I did deserve some of the tickets I got. Fleeting and eluding, and, like I said, trespass. All those tickets got dropped. So you wasted your time writing me 7 tickets, because they all got dropped. I don't know if you were mad at somebody else that day, or if you just take your job so seriously that you think it's okay to hurt other people. All in all, we were trespassing, and then I ran from you because you startled us. Those things did happen. I fled and I eluded because somebody told me that there was something in my car that shouldn't have been, and I wasn't going to jail for 5 years for nobody. So that's why I ran. Doesn't make it right, but gives you my reasoning. But I was fleeing and I did run. I drove my car really, really fast. I don't know if it pissed you off that my Camaro was faster than your Cruiser, or that I was a better driver than you and your Cruiser, because I was using my turn signals. I stopped at stop signs. I was fleeing and eluding, but, took the time to use my turn signal and let you know which way I was going. And then we got onto the bridge, crossing back over into the mainland from the island, and that's when you caught up with me. And you positioned your Cruiser into the oncoming traffic lane with your 9mm gun pointing at my head, which I still don't see where trespassing or fleeing and eluding, even the combination of the two, would require you to pull your gun out. But either way, you had your gun in your hand. You were in oncoming traffic. We were crossing a bridge. You had yourself positioned to pit and maneuver me, and you decided to pull up next to me with the gun. You were trembling with, I don't know if it was fear or adrenaline, because you were excited. I don't know. But you had a gun pointed at my head as I'm driving down the road with passengers in my car. So at this point, you're endangering the other people I'm with, as well as me. And then you scream out your window to pull over and to not let my feet hit the floor. We're in a Camaro. Everybody knows in a Camaro you're already really low to the ground. I'm overweight. Was then too. Also had really, really long hair all the way down to my ass. But we'll get to that. So we pull over, or I pull over the car, and we get out, and we do our best to not let our feet hit the ground. We just go straight to the ground. You come over with your gun in your hand still, and you put me in handcuffs. Didn't tell me I was being arrested. Didn't read me my Miranda rights. Just put me in handcuffs. And then went and put everybody else in handcuffs as well that was in the car with me. And then you came back to me. And then that's when I felt your boot. On the lower part of my back. Repeatedly stomping me. Repeatedly. Until one of my passengers hollers, "Sir, please stop hitting her." To which you respond with walking to the other side of the car. And this is what shows your intent, sir. Because you walked all the way around my car to the other side, kicked him in the face so hard that the dry ground, the dry dirt underneath him, it wasn't muddy, but the dry dirt next to him on the ground. His face is laying on the ground, and this is the dirt. You kicked him so hard on this side of the face that dirt stuck to the side of his face. And then you come back to me, and you take my long ponytail, and you wrap my hair around it, your hand, not once, but twice. And you pick my face, my whole head up, and slammed it into the street. And you see my teeth? You see that really wide gap? I had a really nice smile before I came in contact with you. So then that's about the time that the Grant City police showed up to the scene. And they knew my passengers because they were, they had been in trouble before. I wasn't hanging out with a really, great crowd of people to begin with. Not that they're bad people, but they had a past. Everybody has a past, right? Except for at the time, those people were still working through it. So I guess it was their present. And they ask if there's any assistance that they can help with. And he says, yeah, you can go ahead and start writing the IDs, because he hadn't even done that yet. He didn't know who we were. To him, we didn't matter. And I hear one of them say, she's from Edwardsville. And he says, she. And he comes over to the car, because he had placed me in the car. And he has my ID in his hand, and he says, what are you doing out here? Like it was my fault, because I was in the wrong place. And he put his hands on me, well, his feet, and his hands. And somehow, it was my fault, because I was in the wrong place. Because I was visiting with my friends that I, apparently deserved it. So then, as he's going through all the stuff in my car, trying to find my insurance card, my driver's license, because all of it's in my car, I didn't have time to give him any of it. He went from having a 9mm pointed at my face to stomping me and putting me in the backseat of a car. So he's running back and forth and he's asking me all these questions. He ended up not being able to find my insurance card because it wasn't his car, it was mine, and he wouldn't know where my stuff is. I hear him tell everybody, the other people, he lets the other people go who were in the car, and some passerbyers had stopped by to see if they, the people he was letting go needed help. And he tells them that they can take whatever they want out of my car. So he's a cop telling people to rob me. So then he takes me down to the Madison County Jail. And he hands me off to the deputies. And it was quite funny because the deputies waited until he walked back out towards his cruiser and that door had shut. I don't know if it's soundproof or I don't know. But he waits until he's walking back to his, he had walked through that door and that door had shut, and he says, "What happened to you?" Because my face was all bloody and bruised and swollen from me slamming my face into the street. And I respond with, "One of your finest." I didn't laugh. Not at the time. And he responds with, "It happens." What the heck? That's not the response I expected, for sure. But there was just no compassion or I don't even know what the word would be, but other than compassion, like it's something that happens so often. It happens so many times that they're just like, I see. I don't know if he thought I was going to have like a great story to tell him or something, and like, he can go home and tell his buddies about how this girl went to jail from, getting into a bar fight or something. I don't know. And when it became, it was because the Madison County Sheriff, who just handed me off to you, just beat my ass. It wasn't so exciting anymore. And I know it's been 17 years. I tried to sue you. I tried to get you kicked off the police force. I did. But the lawyer I chose, this was a really good lawyer. He had just gotten a guy in Alton 1.2 for them breaking his arm. So you are too as well, right? You were running for state's attorney. Oh, sorry. Now I'm talking to the attorney, right? No. My attorney that I chose, that everybody recommended, was running for state's attorney. So there was no legal action brought against the cop, even though when he sat me down in his office and asked me what I wanted to do, I told him that's what I wanted to do. He avoided my phone calls for months. I should have gotten a new lawyer, except for I was 21 years old, and I had never been through anything so traumatic in my life. I didn't know what to do. I was relying on the people that I had hired to help me. I didn't realize that those people were more worried about their own intentions than actually helping the people who are victims. He got all my tickets dropped. He got everything taken off my record. But you still got to patrol the streets. There's no doubt in my mind that you hurt somebody else. I want you to know there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of that day. 7 years later, I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease and fused vertebrae in my back in the same spot where you stomped on it. I don't know if it was there before. All I know is that when I went in for my MRI and had it read, the doctor said they'd never seen anything like what my back looked like. They couldn't explain the marks. They couldn't explain the way it looked. I didn't have the composure. I didn't have it in me to ask. Just looked like somebody with a hiking, a hiking boot type of material stomped on it. One, because at that point it didn't matter, did it? My story didn't matter because I didn't have a voice. I had nobody to stand up for me. And then I was told that statute of limitations only had so long to press charges against you. And then after that, whatever happened to me didn't matter. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what my lawyer told me. After he had finally got a hold of me and told me that he got rid of all of my tickets. And that everything dropped. And I said, well, what about suing him? He doesn't need to be a cop. He doesn't know how to be around people and treat people. There's no reason for him to have hurt me after I was in handcuffs. What was I going to do? Roll out to the side of the road to get up? No, I was in the middle of the street next to my car, and you were on the other side of me. Where was I going to go? You had a gun pointed at my head. Oh, I forgot that part too. He never put the gun away. When he was stomping on my back, and while I was in handcuffs, the first thing he did was put me in handcuffs, and then he hurt me. I don't know which part hurts worse. Him causing me physical pain that I feel now every day. Every day my back hurts. And it's in that spot where you stomped on my back for 20 minutes. Every day I have to try to be a normal person, knowing that inside me, all I want to do is cry because I'm in so much pain. I tried to see doctors about it, and they told me that it's unfixable. That, it must have been something that, because they've never seen anything like that, and because I was born abroad, because my parents were in the military, it must have been something that happened over there. They also told me that it was because I was overweight and I smoked that my back hurt. I stopped smoking. I lost weight. My back still hurts. It wasn't because I was smoking. It wasn't because of anything else. But because of the damage that you caused to me. I don't know why it took me 17 years to make this video. I guess, well, one, because in 2003, was YouTube even a thing? I don't know. I'd have to look into that. But it wasn't a platform that I used, if it was. Why am I telling my story now? Because it's 17 years later, and the same things are still happening. And it's getting worse. I fear for our future as a country. I fear for the police officers who are good police officers, who actually want to help people. But even more so, I fear for the innocent citizens who fall victim to the people who shouldn't be cops to begin with, and the system that doesn't help you get the bad people out. But yes, I don't know your name. I don't remember your badge number or your cruiser number. My dad did until he fell victim to dementia. Are you a dad? Because on that day you made mine cry. My dad asked. He says, I know his cruiser number. I can find out where he patrols. I said, oh, Dad. We'll just sue him and we'll make sure he's not a cop anymore. It didn't work out either way.